Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. Today I'll be analyzing the book Norwegian Wood by Haruki Murakami. I want to provide you with a little bit of background information of the book. So, the main character of the book is Toru Watanabe, 37-year-old man looking back at his days in college and his tangled relationships with women. Toru looks back at his younger self who's grieving from the loss of his good friend Kizuki. After Kizuki had died, Toru falls in love with Naoko, the lover of Kizuki. But Naoko is traumatized from the loss of Kizuki and her sister. Therefore, Naoko is hospitalized and Toru decides to wait for her. But he cannot. He secretly starts a relationship with a girl named Midori while Naoko is in the hospital. I have analyzed this book from the feminist perspective, and it's evident that this book portrays a patriarchal society. The novel does this by showing how women are used as tools by men and displaying how women are weak and showing their gender stereotypes and body standards that women had to live up to be accepted by society. So first off, the novel objectifies women and shows that they are at men's disposal to be used at whenever they want. The main character and his friend uses women to get rid of their lust whenever they feel the desire for sex. The main character's friend's name is Nagasawa, and when Nagasawa's girlfriend asks Toru, the main character, why they do it, he says, "It was an easy way to take care of my sex drive, of course, but I hated the morning after. I'd wake up and find this strange girl sleeping next to me." This idea by Toru explains the only reason why Toru uses women is to get rid of his lust. After that's done, women mean nothing to him. Secondly, the novel shows that men handle women like they're their property. Nagasawa and Toru were sleeping with two women, and Nagasawa suggests that they switch women. And when Toru asks one of the girls if that's okay with her, she says that it's okay with her as long as that's what they want. This way, the woman gives total authority and power to the man. Finally, men treat women as they are feelingless creatures. When Hasumi asks Nagasawa why he sleeps with different women, he says he can only live with that hunger for sex. That's the kind of man he is. Those words by Nagasawa shows that he will not mind his girlfriend's feelings. He will continue doing whatever he wants, despite his girlfriend's feelings. These points show that the novel portrays women as objects of men to be used at their will. So now, I'll be talking about my second argument. The novel portrays women as vulnerable, submissive, weak group of people who relies on men. To begin, women let men do anything they want to them, no matter how those things affect their feelings. When Toru talks about Nagasawa's habit of sleeping with different women and how it affects his steady girlfriend, he says that she knows about him sleeping with other women, but she just never does anything. She doesn't complain nor make demands. This implies a submissive quality of women, and it shows that women suppress their emotions and are afraid to fight back. Submissive women means dominant males. This indicates patriarchy in the book. Then, the book shows women as dependent people who relies on men when life gets hard. An example of this is when Reiko, Naoko's therapist, leaves the neighborhood by herself due to people believing that she has molested a child. Reiko is scared to be alone, therefore she begs her husband to come with her. This portrays her as a weak person and her husband as a more dominant person as she relies on her husband. Lastly, the novel shows that women themselves believe that they are weak. After Naoko had passed, Toru is depressed and Reiko tries to strengthen his mind. While doing this, Reiko refers to herself as a powerless, imperfect woman. Reiko, being a woman, expresses her opinion on women as powerless and weak. If women are powerless, then who are powerful? Men. This hints patriarchy. Finally, the patriarchal society encourages traditional gender roles, stereotypes of women. It also implies that women have to live up to certain beauty standards in order to be accepted by the society. To begin, the novel implies that to be socially accepted, a woman have to look good on the outside. This is done when Toru observes Nagasawa's girlfriend and wonders why Nagasawa is with her because she looks less attractive. Toru implies that because Nagasawa's girlfriend doesn't look good, she does not deserve to be dating him, thus implying that what makes a woman acceptable in men's love is their outer beauty. Then, women are portrayed as housekeepers who stay home and do housework all day. When Toru visits the asylum where Naoko was staying, Reiko tells Toru stories about her life. She explains to him how she had to get up every morning, cook, take care of the baby, and feed her husband when he comes home from work. This portrays that women are meant to stay home and be housewives while men go out and provide for the family. As providers, men have more leverage over women, thus implying, you guessed it, patriarchal society. At last, women are expected to perform well in bed to please their husbands. This exposes gender roles. Midori, the girl that Toru fell in love with while Naoko was in the hospital, tells Toru about the women that come to her father's bookshop to buy magazines that explains how to have better sex. She also says that these women try these new things they learn from the magazines when their husbands get home. This shows the effort that women make to please their husbands, and it also implies that women are expected to perform well in bed, thus indicating that a woman's role in a marriage is to please their husband. This also implies that men have power over women, and that drives women to such measures to please their husband. So, I conclude that the book implies gender roles and stereotypes of women, such as beauty standards, skills in bed, and staying at home doing housework. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end. So now it's time for the conclusion. So I conclude the objectification of women, the portrayal of women as powerless, and stereotypes including beauty standards and gender roles shows the patriarchal society in the book. Patriarchal societies brings pain and suffering upon women. Therefore, it must be acknowledged and definitely stopped. Thank you for listening to my podcast.